tell you about the replantation of foliage. Okay, let G like this, let G like this, with this bucket, I'll change the marker, it's not called, I'll change it. And you see that in V, a vector space. We suppose in this case that it is finite of dimensional. It's a finite dimensional vector space. And you see that the rho is a representation of this algebra on V, representation of J on this vector space. That means that if first of all, here is a nomomorphism also. Rho is a nomomorphism. Rho is a nomomorphism. Is a homomorphism also here to J on this one into this kind of algebra, the algebra of your vector space, such that this first of all homomorphism of here, such that in the second time rho of the bracket y like this is also equal to the bracket of the image like this, the rho of that means that is the nomomorphism of Lie algebra, because this one is a local Lie algebra and this one is also Lie algebra. Like the Lie algebra of endomorphism of this kind of vector space. The first one, that means that x of alpha y plus beta y is just equal to alpha here plus beta y, beta rho of y. Just and the second like that is just this one. So we have rho is a homomorphism, rho is a homomorphism of Lie algebra from your space into this kind of Lie algebra also on vector. It's just because it's a representation. Usually it's a representation of J on this kind of vector space, which is a finite dimensional vector space. Okay, there is a particular case of vector space. For all x, y in this in your Lie algebra, let's set your bracket s y like this. You set is equal to AD x of y. Like this. You put like this, and then from here we can see that from here you see that it of E for all x in J is also a non-homomorphism of this your Lie algebra. Then you can also prove that the AD here is also a representation of Lie algebra into the same place algebra, which is called the adjoint representation. Called adjoint representation. So the vector space here is just the Lie algebra itself. It's called adjoint representation. So we can prove easily by can prove easily that first of all by the alpha AD alpha y plus beta alpha x plus beta y. You can prove easily that alpha AD of x plus beta AD of y. Very, very simple. And you can prove also that AD of the bracket is the bracket of ADX ADY. Just what the two conditions to say that this is really a representation of J on J. Here is another morphism. The bracket here is that the composition is AD of X composed with AD of Y minus AD of Y composed with AD of X. Is just another morphism. Remember that this is a Lie algebra, but the bracket for any endomorphism is that this. The bracket of here, this kind of endomorphism is F composite with J minus J composite with. For any endomorphism, which is the bracket defined on the endomorphism, you see like this, which is up here. So for proof here, you can just use you can just use you can just use the Jacobi identity. Jacobi identity identity. You Jacobi identity, you can prove it, but this one very easily. So you have a particular case of representation called the adjoint representation of your Lie algebra. Can put it the adjoint representation of Lie. You can define another representation also. When it take for all when it takes the limit of the linear link of lines, we suppose that G is a linear in this case, G is a linear label. So when we take like this, I can compute and add here the limit of the Lie algebra, and then also G x this one is the result of the limit of your Lie algebra. You have this. You just prove easily that you can just compute because when you compute the exponential t of dx t minus 1 is exactly g the exponential tx d minus 1. And you define that this one is the limit of the group. In the group, this one in the group, then this is in the group. If this is the group, that means that this is the Lie algebra. Very, very simple. So I repeat again. You have this equality. G is the limit of the group. This is the level of this X here of the Lie algebra. The group, the product is the group, then this is your Lie algebra. For all G here. Then we can define and we can define a map a map from all G, from all D like this. For all D, you can associate this kind of map like this. This kind of map which will be like this. From all J, you can put it that there's some automorphism of this kind of Lie algebra, which will be denoted by the just a notation, which is called the AD of J, which is the homomorphism of here, the notomorphism of T, which is the Lie algebra for all X you have this kind of this AD of J of X, which is exactly what I put here. This one, which is exactly J X J minus 1. So I define a map. So I define a map of J of L, which is G X J minus 1. Then we can also we can prove easily that ADL is also a representation. Now is a reference of the group on the Lie algebra. It's also called the adjoint representation of your group now, not the Lie algebra. Is an adjoint representation. Adjoint representation of the group, of the linear Lie group, of this linear Lie group, which is linear Lie group, which is called the adjoint representation of linear Lie group. You can prove easily that this is an automorphism. For all G here, for all G, this map generated by G is an automorphism of this kind of Lie algebra. You can say very easy to prove. Easy surjective and so on. This is AD is injective and surjective. So one-to-one and also surjective. It's very simple to prove. So you have this kind of then you have this AD of J map for all parts you have this solution. And you have G minus 1. So you have this one. Also is injective, is also injective, then is an automorphism of this structure. Okay. Now something you can use here. You can prove that that's property 1. You can prove that what is the equation. You can ask that what is the correspondence between the adjoint of the group and this one, which is of the Lie algebra, they could be for this which is the representation of the groups. It's a representation of Lie algebra, it's a representation of group. I remind you that AD of X like this for Y is just a bracket. Or here, AD of J of Y is that G, what is X here? X J minus 1. Now, what the relationship we can get between the two? This I would like to tell you. What kind of relationship you can get from the two? I'm trying to mark up. I'll put a good mark up. What kind of relationship you can get this? You can prove that for the properties 1, you can prove that the derivative of here, it's not good, this one. Of AD at 0 is exactly what you get to. The first result we can easily prove. That means that what? If you want to prove it, when we complete this, for example, for all X, Y, derivative of the group, I complete this one. The derivative of ED at E of X of Y is what I mean is what exactly the derivative of T of this one parameter sum of the image of the exponential tx y when t tend to 0. You have this notation. And now we try to compute now here. You compute now and you compute it and you have the result. The adjoint of the exponential t x y is exactly the exponential tx y, the exponential minus tsy, minus tx in this one. Right now, when we complete the derivative of this, of here, the derivative of here is just the same. Will be at t equal to 0 will be exactly x y minus y x, which is just the adjoint of x of y. You complete it. Because if you complete, you have this. If you complete the derivative of this, you have something like that. The exponential tx. For we put first of all, then you have s here, y, the exponential of minus tx, ty, like this, and y like this, minus, we put the derivative now, the exponential tx, y, and minus x, you will got this kind of y, this is s, the minus x, and the exponential of minus tx, this minus this one. If you complete this, you get. If you complete this kind of derivative here, you have this kind of form. When t tend to 0. When you get t tend to 0, you have xy here, minus y x, which is exactly the bracket for the matrix. You see that you have your indicate when J is a linear Lie group, so it's a closed subgroup of GL array. Linear subgroup G is a closed subgroup of GLR. What we call the linear Lie group. Linear group is a closed subgroup of this. So it's a matrix. So the matrix of the matrix, the bracket in the matrix is like this. For the matrix for this tier is a linear terminal. Is a linear terminal. The bracket here is the bracket of two matrices. Is that AB minus BA. It's exactly what we will get. Because we consider here G, which is the linear Lie group, which is a closed subgroup of G and R. G is a closed subgroup of G and R. Is closed. Subgroup of this kind of also. Okay. So you have this is also we have proved that this is the relation between ED and this is exactly what you get. So we prove that AD of here, the derivative of AD at 0 is exactly this count. We can give the general case now for this kind of notation. Now, if you suppose that G like let's find now the representation like this, representation of a group on some vector space, figure out this, a vector space which is also finite dimensional. So you have this kind of shape. You can also define the representation, how can you define the representation of this Lie algebra, which here, where here is a Lie algebra, of this kind of Lego. How can I define this? What I'm going to provide. Don't you have this kind of relation? Have this? You do it that d pi like this. D pi of x is exactly the derivative also of this one parameter sub pi of the exponential tx when t tends to 0. What the difference is? And you have this. Then you can prove that d pi here is exactly d pi here is exactly representation of also of j into some vector space into what kind of vector space you can do this differential vector space of this one. So it's also a representation. It's very easy to prove that representation of here. We just complete it. Very simple because here is a linear algebra. So it's very in the vector space. If you want to complete the representation when of this Lie algebra, just complete the representation, the image by this representation of each element of the basis is will be simple for you. I will give you a simple example. I'll give you a simple example, Alex. I'll give you an example of this. Let us suppose that let J be a linear affine transformation group. Affine transformation affine transformation group like this. It's a group like denoted G like this. It's a group denoted by the form EB 01 when A like this and B in element of R. Here, if you complete the Lie algebra of J, it will be denoted by significant for all S2 like this, which generated by this kind of vector where you can complete the team table. You have S here will be equal to 1, 0, 0, 0. And S2 will be equal to 0, 1, 0, 0. This can be the basis of the Lie algebra. So the Lie algebra of this kind of affine transformation group is like the vector space generated by this two. So it's a two-dimensional vector because the dimension of here, this one depends only on the two parameters. So the dimension of a Lie group is just the number of parameters we characterize your group. Okay? Okay, you have this kind of. So when you have to compute a representation of this one, from group let's set like this also 4 by pi of BA of f of x like this. I will put the left over A like this of f of s minus b over A. This one. I think f here is a square integral on R. And you like this way. So then you can put easy that pi here is a representation of G like this, of this G into this square integral of R. which is this Hilbert space. Each representation of this very easy to prove. We just proved that. If you have to complete it, you have proved that B prime A prime will be equal to pi B complete with pi B prime A prime, and when you complete pi one identity map will be like this form: 0, 1, which identity must be the identity of your this space, this Hilbert space. So it verifies this very easy. So from here, how can I complete the representation of Italy algebra? So pour le représentation of Italy algebra, you see that this algebra is generated by the matrix at this form: 0, 0, 1, and S2. The matrix of 0, 1, 0, 0. This S1 is the basis of the linear algebra of this level. Is the basis. S1, S2 is the basis of the linear algebra of our affine linear transformation group of this. So, if you have to complete the representation of this kind of figure, and we get to complete the representation of this here, to complete here, you just complete the one of each element of representation. Okay, so you can complete d pi of x1 and d pi of x2. For this, you have d pi of S1 is just the derivative over t of pi of this one parameter subgroup like this. When t tends to 0, we have this kind of map. From here, we can just complete it. You have the exponential tx1. If you complete this, by definition, it's like this. Is a t s1 n by the factor n from 0 to infinity like this. And here S is a diagonal matrix. Then S1 for all n is exactly 1 n 0 n and so 0 0 exactly 1 0 don't change 0 0. Then S1 is exactly for all n here. S1 n is exactly equal to S1. Then if you have here just the exponential of t S1 exactly S1, you put it outside and you have the exponential of t. That's all. So if you have to complete it, you have to see something very easy. If you complete it, you have the exponential t S1 equals just the exponential t 0 0 0 0 of like this. Then if you want to compute the pi of the exponential t S1 like this, will be equal to, use the definition A here, B is here. So you have exponential minus t of f x minus over t like this. Because it's minus t f x minus t. are different. Then when we complete it, for this column here, if you complete it, you have this will be equal to minus exponential t f of x e from t. After you have minus, you are here exponential minus t, and then here you have x exponential minus t. This minus is also here, and f prime of x exponential minus t. That's complete the derivative of this. When we complete now our d pi of x1, which is this, which is at t equal to 0, you have just here, you have f minus f of x minus also 0, 0 minus x f prime of x, which what it is of. So you can use this form to complete also for s d pi of f2. You can put it so this you get this kind of representation of this. Okay, thanks. Okay, yeah. We forget just a little of f here, of f of x here. Just you have f of f here. F of f here. It is okay. You got to put it this kind of mark. Okay, that's right. And also, competition P2. We can put also P2. But you have this. If each pi is a representation of K into this kind of vector space, and you have this kind of relation also that the pi of this kind of exponential of x is also equal to the exponential of pi. Very important. Pi is a representative of this, and d pi is a representation of Italy algebra. From the vector space. It's not Italy algebra. It's a five-dimensional case top levels. Each algebra. And the particular case, when you take the adjoint case, you have the same notation. I'll change my backyard. And from here, you can also prove that you have the adjoint of the exponential of x here, because this one is the element of the group, is also equal to the exponential of the small ad, the adjoint of the algebra, like this. It's just the same, because of the ad here is just the derivative of the capital one of this. Because this one is like this. It's like, so you have this notion. So you want this is just a consequence of this. So you can use this kind of notation to prove that the fact that d pi like this. This pi is a representation of your you have to prove it. Here is this just the algebra with the L of G studies. Okay, thanks. Okay, yeah. So then this property just summarize what we did here. You have a representation here. This one is a derived representation. Pi of the exponential of x is exactly the exponential of the derived representation of pi of x. This one. And not only that, the derived representation of the adjoint representation of the Lie algebra or the Lie group is just the adjoint representation of the Lie algebra. So we can easily proof that also that we again the pi of the exponential of x is exactly the exponential of the Ralph condition of x. You can easily prove it. Just use some properties of one parameter subgroup to prove this. You probably should know already this. Because exactly also is a particular representation. We can prove it all. Okay, let us put let's set for the proof. Let's set, for example, gamma 1 of t. Let's put it of equal to pi at the exponential of tx like this, and gamma 2 of t, let us put the exponential of t d pi of x. You put these two marks. Gamma 1 and gamma 2 are one parameter subgroup of JLN. Gamma 1 and gamma 2 are one parameters subgroup of JN and R. It's just because this they add that up. And then if you compute gamma prime 1 of 0, it's just this kind of derivative is d pi of what here is of x, the exponential of tx here when t tends to 0, which is exactly equal to the derived representation of x, exactly equal to this. When t tends to 0, you have exactly this. Into the of the derivative of gamma at 0. And you do the same for gamma 2. If you do the same for gamma 2, you say gamma 2 of 0 is also of this is d pi of x, like this, the exponential of d pi of x, the derived representation of this, and when t tends to 0. When t tends to 0, you are exactly gamma 2 of 0 is also equal to d pi. Then you have gamma 1 of 0 equal to gamma prime. This one is of 0. Then for all t in R, you have a gamma 1 of t equal to gamma 2 of t. This is all. So you have your for t equal to 1, you have this what you are going to prove. This all. So because I just remind you something. When you have something, the proof is finished like that. You have what to prove. You see what you get already out of. Why from 0, the proof of 0, you have just suppose that this is all what you have. Because if you gamma 1, gamma 2 are one parameter subgroup, you see from here. From here, this means that gamma 1 of t is exactly the exponential of t gamma prime 1 of 0. And gamma 2 of t is the exponential t of gamma prime 2 of 0. That's all. So if you prove that gamma 1 prime of 0 this one are equal, then this one are equal. This what you are going to prove. Because any one parameter subgroup of this generator is like this form. So then you prove that the derivative at 0 of 1 is equal to derivative axial of 2, it is odd. So you have this one, very, very simple. And then you should prove it since will be the same for the adjoint is the same, because the derivative of the adjoint here at 0 is exactly 0. So the same notation like this. So then the AD the exponential x is exactly the exponential of the derive of this one, which is exactly AD of x. Exactly. This one is a derivative of this at 0. This one. Okay. And now I'll give you some more remarks now. I'll give you some remarks concerning to this kind of we define first of all the adjoint representation. The adjoint representation is just is a map into the like this map for object. You have the adjoint of this. We call this also of automorphic of object. Each will be the same. Here. It will be the same. So from here you have J of 3, and you have S, you have what you are going to prove. Then you have AD of J of X. We put that it is equal to AS dx d minus 1. Here it's just a hashing. It's just dxy. It's just a hashing of G on X. G operates. That means that the G operates on the algebra like this, like this one. Like this, it is operating like this operation or this like this. That means like what? It's just in action, and this is an operation. It's just if you have it's G of the algebra into the algebra for all G here X. This action G is like this. Which is exactly we don't tell this D1 of this. We just action the operation of G on Lee algebra. This action, this D operates the group operates Lee algebra like this. Just from this operation we can get we deduce what we call the representation of your group, which is called the adjoint representation. Okay. Now, if you can also suppose I take the dual of this, the dual of AG. When you take the dual of AG, map of G also to the GL of the dual of this algebra. The dual of this. Then you have G. Also, we have this the dual of this algebra. That is this map of the dual of this dual here is for all F here. You have this the action of this number of F. When F here an element of the dual in the linear form on this one. So it's also a action also for the group. It's also the action, an operation for this. J operates like this. This like this. Operates like this. J operates like of F like this. G when F when F is a linear form on this vector space. J like this. This action is what we call the adjoint. Is like this of G. What they call this here the co-adjoint representation. It's called co-adjoint representation. The co-adjoint representation is just the action of the G on this the space of linear form of this vector space. We call it the co-adjoint representation. Or also we can call this this one. Or here the co-adjoint representation is defined by the dual of this kind of representation. Or we can call it also what we call the contragradient representation of the adjoint representation. From here, if you compute the derivative, when you have 80 like this, then 80 come from G into TR of something like that. Then when I compute like this, the tangent space at E of ED of here will be in this algebra, the tangent space of here, which is the Lie algebra, is a tangent space at E of G into the tangent space at this, the tangent space of the image of E here, which is that F here. Your F, the image of F. If you put F here, you get it. So I'll put it like this for you. Yeah. Okay, the tangent space of the image of E for the adjoint representation. Okay, we can put it and of DL of DL for something like that. Here is what we will call the adjoint, the co-adjoint representation of the adjoint representation of the algebra. Here is exactly this. Here is the adjoint representation. Here will be exactly the representation of E. Here is E. The representation of DL. This kind of function. Yeah. So it's also we define also from all S here. We define also this action like this, which we call the co-adjoint representation of X. From here, from the dual of T to integral from A, for F, you have a action of this F. Then here is also the action of here is the adjoint co-adjoint representation of X of F. That's the action of also the Lie algebra on this. So we put also here is the action of the Lie algebra. The action here of the dual into the dual. So you have S here for F like here. You have just S, which is just the action. What you call J, the Lie algebra operate on this linear form. Like this one, this is called the co-adjoint representation of the Lie algebra. Is also co-adjoint co-representation. This is for the group. This is for the Lie algebra also. Just to the remark. Okay. Now I'll give you another example. Let us G like equal to S2, the special unitary group of other two like this. And this contains some elements like this. This is equal to S2, the intersection of S2C, which we have this element. And it contains the element like this. It contains G of GL to C, such that the adjoint of DG equal to G, the adjoint of here will be equal to identity, and also the determinant of G is equal to 1, and this kind of group. So if you complete Lie algebra, of J, which is equal to S2. It contains some element X here over 2 of C. So that for all T element of R, you have the exponential of T X element of the capital group. What you complete, we will go into actually. Then this here will contain the matrix of C, such that from here, this in the group, definitely you have this solution. That means that X here and minus this is equal to this. That means that Fx here must it will be equal to minus X. And the trace of X is equal to 0. It contains. From here you got it using this fact, and from here you did this fact, you get it. So it's a matrix containing the matrix of order 2 of coefficient C, such that you have this condition. And you can get a basis of this like this. F1, you can compute easily that is a basis like this. Is I minus I 0, 0. F2 is that 1 minus 1, 0, 0. S3, and we can put it I here, 0, 0, 0. We can get it very, very easy. And we can prove that S1, S2, S3 is a basis of this Lie algebra. And if we compute it, and you have this relation, the bracket F1, S2, if you compute it like is S1, S2 minus S2, S1, if you compute it, you have exactly 2 S3. The same for the bracket of S2, S3. For the bracket of, if you compute also the bracket of S2, S3, you have 2x S1, and also the bracket of S3, S1, you have 2x S2. You just compute, you can put the S2, S3 minus S3, S2, you compute, you have this kind of very, very simple to prove. This is that's a commutation relation between your Lie algebra. Okay, here is a constant structures of this characterize your Lie algebra. And let's complete now the adjoint representation. When T the limit of S2 like this. So T must be equal to T S1 plus T S2 plus 3 S3. That is because here S1, S2, S3 is the basis of your Lie algebra. We try to complete the adjoint of T. This if we complete the adjoint of T, we complete it for any element of the basis of your Lie algebra. This is equal to T S1. So if we complete it, this one, you have to first of all T, here T1 for S1, which will be equal to 0. This one will be equal to 0 for 1. For 1 is this is equal to 0. S2 you have 2 S2 S1 plus T3 S3 S1, which will be equal to 2 T2 here S3 minus here, because S2 S1 is 2 S3, and S2 will be equal to minus here. And also you have 2 3 S2 using this solution. And when you complete also the adjoint of T of the second element of your basis, S2, S2, you take T1, the bracket of S1, S2, this one is equal to 0, plus T3, the bracket of T, S2, which will be equal to 2, T1, S3, here will be equal to here minus 2, 3, X, S1, because S2, S3 is 2, S1. And finally, you have this. The adjoint of T, the third component of your basis will be equal to this. This will be T1, the bracket S1, S3, plus T2, the bracket of S2, S3. S3 will be equal to 0. And then you have here, you have S1, S2, you have 2 minus 2, S2, T1. You can put T1 here. So it's better to write 2 T1 like this. Here you have 2 T1 minus 2 T1 S2. Here you have 2, 3, you have plus 2 T3 S1. 2, 3 is the second S1. Then you have this matrix. Then you have the representation, the adjoint representation of there. This kind of matrix. The first one is like this. So you have 0, 2, T3 here, and also you have minus 2, T2. And the second time you have there minus 2, T3, then after 0, and also you have 2, T1. And here you have what is 2, 3, yeah, you have 2, 3, and minus 2, I forget 2 here, you have 2, T1 here, so you have minus 2, T1, after you get here. If you have the adjoint representation of this kind of, you get this matrix for all T, T1, T2, T3 in your face, which is also the complex number, which is the recursive number, element of your the basis field, your basis field of your Lie algebra, which should be like algebra over C. You get to something like that, So you have this. And you have already the adjoint of the representation of your adjoint of representation. Then you know already that this adjoint representation, you prove it already that it's just the derivative of at E of the adjoint of your group. You prove it already. Then from here you can prove any that this, since it is an isomorphism of this Lie algebra, T is the S2, U2. Here, the element here, the trace is will be equal to 0. For S22 is the isomorphism of the adjoint this side. But first of all, we can say that the adjoint of the, if you compute first of all this kind of it, if you compute first of all, let us denote the Killing form of this. Let us compute the Killing form of TTT. If you complete this kind of Killing form, it's just the trace of the adjoint of T square. Because the Killing form of T square, I remind that the Killing form of S1, S2 is the trace of the adjoint of S1, adjoint of F2, F3. And it's just the definition of the killing form, because this algebra is also extremely simple. You can complete this kind of killing form of this is the trace of this. Okay, no need to study that it's missing or not. We have this sum, and from the case here, if we compute it, maybe you will be equal to T1 square plus T2 square plus T3 square. If we compute, you get something like that. And for all j in your group, and if you compute the killing form of the adjoint of the adjoint, capital adjoint of G T, the adjoint of T will be cool easy that is like this. The T is part of this. Then we can, if you are this form, then you can for all j, which is the element of this group, the adjoint of j, which is invariant by the Curie formula. This is the element of O3, orthogonal group of other three, because you are this condition. And now we try to study something. The SU2 is connected, and is connected. SU2 is connected. Then the adjoint of SU2 is also connected, and is connected also. Because the adjoint is the homomorphism of Lie algebra is connected, of Lie group is connected. It's also connected and contain E. Contain the unique element E like this. The unique element like this. Then is then the adjoint of SU2 is contained in the identity component of the I call it the identity component. Identity component of O3, denoted by the O30 like this. Because this is connecting the unit element, the adjoint will be connected also, will contain the identity element of which will be equal to containing this. Now, since the adjoint here is the derivative of the adjoint of it at E is an isomorphism. Is an isomorphism of SU2 onto SO2 like this. O2. These are this one. Then the adjoint of here, the adjoint of this group SU2 will contain the component of 3 like this. That means that the image of the adjoint representation will be contained to the O of 3 like this, of this kind of thing. Then you have, this is always the image is contained here. Then from, if you complete 1 here and 2, from 1 and 2, from 1 and 2, you see that the image here, the image of the address of here is exactly like this. It contains what I'm going to say. You have this kind of, yeah, okay, yeah. It contains the component here. Contain is equal to the component of this, the identity component of this, which is exactly where O3 component of this is just equal to SO3. What we are going to prove. The identity component of this kind of the group of order 3 like this. So the map here, so the map SU2 to XO3, which is also surjective. Also surjective using what we are going to we just prove here is surjective, and also when we complete the kernel of the adjoint of here will be exactly for this contain actually this kind of element here. Then using the theorem of nomomorphism, using the SU2 quotient, but the I here is exactly isomorphic to SO3. It's isomorphic to SO3. Here you can deduce that SU2 exactly the covariant group of SO3. That's the SU2 is a covariant group of F3. It is a covariant group of SO3. You can do it as what I'm going to prove. Also in this remark or on this example, we prove also that you complete first of all the adjoint representation of the linear algebra SU2. After you complete also like this conversion. Then if you have this conversion, the same two is why the same have the same linear algebra. So you can deduce that the linear algebra of this will be equal to the linear algebra of this. When you have J, which is equal to J, G prime, the covariant group here, then they have this one, the covariant group, then the two have the same linear algebra. Then the linear algebra of J will be equal to the linear algebra of J prime, something like that. Because this is a simple algebra, the linear algebra of SU2 will be equal to the algebra of J. Just a remark. Okay, thanks.